Okay, the second session is aerial imagery and LiDAR acquisition. The second series, Connect with EagleView. Speakers are Rose Campbell from County of Santa Clara and Arjun Cardoza and David Alexander. Let me introduce Rose first. Rose Campbell joined the County of Santa Clara in July 2023 as an IT project manager. And before joining the county, Rose held the role of project manager in companies of all sizes, such as AT&T, Visa USA, Gap, and Cisco. She has been a certified project manager for over 20 years and also is a certified Scrum Master, right? And Arjun Cardoza is an EagleView's district manager working closely with government agencies across the Southwest to streamline efficiencies and improve decision-making through the use of advanced aerial imagery. Originally from Bay Area native, Arjun moved to Southern California to attend California State University, Fullerton, where he earned his degree in business administrations. And lastly, but not least, David Alexander is EagleView's regional technical manager, working primarily with government agencies across the Southwest to integrate EagleView's high-resolution imagery into the client GIS and assessment environments. Additionally, he provides face-to-face customer support, ensuring solutions are brought to the customer's hands in a timely manner. Born and raised in Santa Clara County, David graduated from University of Colorado at Boulder, where he earned his degree in geography. With that, I would like to hand it over to Rose first.
Thank you, Yoko, and welcome, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the GIS Day. I do want to give a shout out to Yoko and the entire GIS team for putting together this fabulous event and giving me the opportunity to present on our program. I will be covering the aerial imagery and LiDAR program, some information on that, and then I will turn this over to our partner, Arjun and David with EagleView. The program covers the three different types of imagery here, and we collect this information, this data, as Yoko was mentioning earlier. It is a lot of work. It takes many people, and we could not do this without our partners, and that includes also our public agency partners. The program itself is led by the County of Santa Clara, and I, as the project manager, manage this program, and I am a point of contact. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email. The county, as I mentioned, is the lead, and what we will do is we actually manage the program, and that includes securing the vendors that capture the imagery as well as the LiDAR. The program also encourages a partnership with our public agency partners. And through this is a fairly costly exercise, and we're able to go ahead and partner together to be able to do a cost-sharing model and then be able to enjoy the same quality imagery across for the County of Santa Clara. What you see here is a list of the public agency partners. It is an annual program, and they are not required to go ahead and participate every year. They can opt in or out based on their needs and based on their budgetary constraints or availability. In regards to the acquisition vendors, you can see here I've listed Series 1 and Series 2. This is based on our contract terms. We actually, the county goes ahead and does an RFP process to secure the vendor, and typically it's a 5-year contract. So the first year, what we did was, you can see here, we had Sanborn as our vendor for both the ortho-oblique imagery acquisition, as well as also the LiDAR. Now with the second series, we did a pivot, and we actually split up the services into 2 RFPs. And so you can see here that we have EagleView providing us the ortho-oblique imagery, and we have Sanborn providing us the LiDAR. And we just completed that RFP, so yay. All right, Oops, okay. I had a couple more slides, but what I wanted to just share is that there was a slide that showed the acquisition plan. So we just completed year 6, and we will be kicking off year 7 tomorrow. So if you want more information about the program, please reach out to me if you did not receive an invitation already to participate in the program. And there I will provide more information, but I did want to go ahead and really turn this over to David and Arjun, so that way they had the full breadth of the opportunity to present on their tool. All right, Arjun, David.
Okay. All right. Okay, my name is Arjun Cardoza. I'm here with EagleView, and we are excited to be here. So a quick introduction, we did that earlier. I'm a local guy from Fremont. I live currently in Southern California, and this is us. So, we already did our intro, so we can probably move on to the next slide, but we're very excited to partner with Santa Clara. It's a very impressive consortium, very well organized, and we are quite glad to support the ortho and oblique imagery. So we can probably go to the next slide. Oh, it's a video. Okay. Okay. A quick, 1,000-foot, 10,000-foot view of us as a company. EagleView is an aerial imagery and software provider. So we go out and we fly with fixed wing aircraft, and we capture aerial imagery. We take that imagery, we take those thousands and tens of thousands of images, and we stitch them together to make an ortho mosaic and oblique mosaic image that's nice and clean, that you can look at on our GIS user platform or on other third-party softwares as well. We, as a company, we've been around for 25 years as a company. Right now, when you look at it, we currently support 55% of the US counties within the country. We've got 94% of population density areas flown. So a lot of historical data that we have going back 20, 25 years. We have one of the largest fixed wing aircraft fleets. So we have over 125 aircraft in our fleet. So the joke is if we can go back to that pass, is there a way to pause on the previous, sorry. I think this is a video, so it's one of those things that's, is there a way to go back? Oh, is there a way to pause? Oh, okay, one more back. Right there, okay. So I was saying that the joke is we're running an airline outside of what we're doing. We have a lot of pilots, a lot of planes scattered across the country, and we're capturing this imagery constantly throughout the country. We have a USGS certified oblique camera system. So there's a lot of technology that goes behind the scenes into our camera system. If you think about a plane that's flying at 10,000 feet to capture detail up to 1-inch GSD on the ground, there's a lot of atmosphere between that. And so there's a lot of science that goes behind that camera technology to get that detail. Lots of proprietary patents and tech around our cameras. Lots of former government employees on staff. So at EagleView, we love folks that have kind of been in your seat, that have kind of come over because we really understand your workflow and how the government structure works. All right, next slide. Okay, so we all know, as most of us know here, there's two main types of imagery. There's ortho imagery, which is that top-down bird's eye view image. And we have oblique imagery. And oblique imagery is essentially, instead of the camera pointing down, we're pointing it sideways out of the plane. We're capturing a 45-degree angle image. Lots of detail. You can get things like height. Lots of other additional details like contours and slope can be derived from the oblique image. So it's very, very useful. Okay. Next slide. Okay, this is a somewhat of an interactive question here. So if you're looking at this image, this is an ortho image. If you were to guess what this building is, looking at an ortho image, any guesses on what this is? House? Okay. Somebody said church. As it goes to the next slide, it is a church. So let's wait for that to go over here. And this is a great assessment use case, right? When you think about it, if you're assessing this building and you were looking at an ortho view, churches are tax exempt, right? So you may have taxed this building, but you probably shouldn't have taxed this building. And the moment you switch into that ortho view, you can tell it is a church. So this is a great example of kind of the power of the oblique image if once you snap over to that 45-degree angle. Okay. All right. Sorry. Okay. All right. If there's a way to go in there. Okay, fantastic. So a snapshot of what we're flying and what we're capturing for Santa Clara. So here we're showcasing, so we're capturing we have two GSDs, and GSD stands for ground scale distance. That's the image resolution that we're capturing. So we have 3-inch and 6-inch. And what that basically means is when you zoom in to the max possible level, each pixel represents either 3-inch by 3-inch or 6-inch by 6-inch. Very high resolution imagery. You can see grade and condition on a building. You can see materials. You can look at cracks on a road. Very detailed. We're doing over 1,000 square miles of 3-inch, and we're doing about 700 plus square miles of 6-inch. It's a mixed GSD map, and so we're able to deliver those two GSDs. As I mentioned, we have different camera rigs. We have a Pacific and a Penta camera rig. So depending on the flight conditions and the altitude we're flying, we're going to kind of pick what camera system and plane to use. Right now, we're capturing twice a year. We have a ortho-only flight around March. That's our standard imagery. And then we have a certified flight, which is ortho and oblique, which is in the November timeframe. And I mentioned the word certified. So certified, we actually use ground control for additional accuracy. And then we also do color balancing, and we fix building lean. So for that certified flight, there's a little bit more post-processing that goes into it. And so there are those two captures that we do every year. Okay.
I can get him out later if you want. You can say hi.
So he has to ask.
That's me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So moving along, so everything EagleView, we'll kind of breeze through this. One of the things I want to highlight is that, and this is something to think about for future imagery acquisitions, we do have 1-inch available. So as a company, we've gone from 12 to 9 to 6 to 3, and now we're at 1. So it's quite impressive. That detail is extremely great. And so the question is, how much better can it get? Is it 3/4 of an inch, half an inch? So it's really exciting. But 1-inch is available today, and so this is something to think about as we move into future imagery acquisitions. That there is this option, which is quite exciting. Right. Near infrared is something that we deliver for the county. So with everything that's going on with the fires and things like that, near infrared 4-band is a great use case to look at vegetation health, things like impervious surface. So this is something that is part of our deliverable, and you are able to get access to some of this imagery. And near infrared is one of those deliverables that we do provide. So. Okay, change detection is something that we're not currently providing, but I do want to share. With a lot of the changes that are happening from parcel to parcel, one of the things that some counties look at is change detection. And basically, it's the ability to compare building parcels. And so things like the additions of ADUs and expansion of homes, this is a great way to kind of look and quickly find those changes from flight capture to flight capture. And so we call it Change Finder. And this is something that the county can potentially think about for future captures as those changes happen within the county. Okay. Next slide. Okay, disaster response. Along with what I mentioned about the fires, we all know what happened in Los Angeles County. What we are able to do as an aerial vendor is that if there is a disaster in the county, we can get a plane, ideally within 72 hours, to the disaster location. We just need to know the area that you want us to capture, and we'll get a plane to that area to help fly and capture that damaged area. This is a big part of our business. We as a company also support the insurance industry, and so we have other verticals within the business units. But this is something that we do support for a county where, depending on the severity of the fire or the flood or whatever it may be, we can help support and to get that very recent imagery of the damage areas. Okay, and David's going to do a demo in our new platform called Explorer, but here's a quick snapshot of what it looks like. And so we have a web-based URL called Connect Explorer currently, and we have a new version called Explorer that's coming out that has been rolled out. And so this is something that we want to showcase and demo for those that that may be able to use the tool and look at the imagery. So, and that's all I have. So David, go for it.
So this isn't a live demo. It's like a pre-recorded demo, but I'll kind of just narrate as it goes along. So looks like now it will start. So here we go. So Connect, this is the new version of our imagery viewing platform. This is kind of what you see upon initial login. And you know, this is looking at that 3-inch imagery. This is Santa Clara County. So this is imagery that's live to the county. And then that's switching into the oblique view there, where you can see facades of homes, just kind of a cool angled view. That's always like just really, really fun to look at. So as I'm kind of, you know, navigating through the program here, you'll see that button right there is you can switch between the ortho and the oblique. That, you know, changes the direction. You can rotate the map to get any angle, because when we collect and we fly kind of up and down and side to side, so we capture multiple angles. So all those angles are available to you to see, you know, thousands of different photos kind of stitched together. As I pan over this way, this is off McKee Road and 680 in that general area. I forgot the name of this high school, but there's a high school there. I'll showcase some of the measurement tools that are available in this program. So if I go to the pool, and that upper right-hand corner, that's the measurement tools. That opens up the measurement tools panel. These are all the different tools. So you can measure just like a you know, regular line right there. It gives you the length. You can adjust the width of the line. You can adjust the units of measurement. This is the area tool, and it just works pretty simply. You just draw lines along the perimeter of the thing you are measuring, and that'll spit out the area, each length of the side. Again, you can customize the colors, the symbology here. And then we also have height tools. So each pixel has an X, Y, and Z value associated with it. So, you know, it's not just the areas itself. You can also kind of like go into the third dimension, as it were, and get height measurement out of these images as well. You do have to be in the oblique view in order to get a height measurement. You can also annotate the map, so you can draw shapes on it. And by the way, this is all kind of like, it all saves this in like a workspace for you. And I'll showcase this in a bit, but every, you know, thing you put on the map kind of saves into a list. You can export that as a CSV or a PDF. So yeah, you can write on it. We have many different image icons you can place on the map, like hundreds of them. I should have picked the football one, not the soccer one. So, yeah. And so now one of the reasons we're all here is GIS. your GIS capabilities in here are pretty cool. So if you go to the GIS layers, as an admin here, you can upload all your own GIS data into this. The back end is pretty cool. That'll be later in the demo here. But this is just a regular old parcel base. But a lot of cool stuff you can do with GIS. And the identify tool is pretty cool. That's kind of a good way to just obviously identify what you're looking at by just clicking on one of those parcels. It'll retrieve all your parcel information. A cool thing that I like is the using the buffer tool. You can see, say you need the Public Works Department needs to get a notice out to just one specific street of residence. You can draw a line along that street, set that buffer to say 50 feet or whatever you want. It'll catch all those parcels and then give you that, all that information. You can export this into a CSV, and then there you go. That's all your, those are all your parcels that you need to notify for this particular project. Oh, it's closer to the microphone. Okay, yes. So this is just an example of what that exported report looks like. Location information, that's that button that I just pushed there. That's gives you your coordinates, elevation, the image ID for the actual image library. This is how to export your view. Essentially, you can export it in different formats. You can share a link with somebody. So that's what the one of the exported JPEGs looks like. Basically just, includes a timestamp of what you were looking at, so it's very transparent. And then dual pane is cool. That's what I'm about to turn on right here, that button right there. So that opens up two different image panes. This is where you can compare your past images and your current images. So if I'm gonna go to a later imagery there, you can see obviously that house has, in 2024, they were doing some work on it, whereas in 2019, it looked like that. Yeah, dual pane is like, that's especially really cool, especially with, full new developments, just to see the difference between, pre and post builds. That's a very useful tool. And I think we're about to go into the back end here. So on the admin side, I'm just going to showcase really quick kind of how to connect your GIS. You can connect your own REST services. You can basically connect to your own Esri account and just pull straight from your Esri account, which is pretty cool. All your, if you have published services on your Esri account, you can bring that into here. Or you can upload, stuff via the old-fashioned way as well, if you have shape files and whatnot. It's all customizable symbolization. You can, kind of just symbolize how you want the layers to appear. You can organize your layers within your layer list, stuff like that. And we have a lot of partner integrations. This is pretty cool. Well, yeah, labels as well. But the partner integrations also, this is where you can kind of create API keys. If you have some sort of web map that you host, you can actually create keys in here to incorporate into those web maps for yourself. You can set up third-party integrations. So yeah, this is something that's wasn't available in the old Connect Explorer. So this gives the admins a lot more autonomy to kind of like, do some more dev work on the back end, which is pretty cool here. And then lastly, the user management here. Basically, you have your account. You can create user accounts. You can assign roles to those users. This is kind of what that part of it all looks like here.
We
Yeah.
not.
And that's essentially it. There's definitely a lot more. We have a lot of resources available online that dive deeper into this. Also, Santa Clara County has an unlimited user amount for this. So if you are a government entity within Santa Clara County, you can get access to this right now, essentially. So it's pretty cool. It's a great way to view our imagery. And I don't remember exactly how much. I think this is pretty much the end of it. Oh yeah, there's some of that CIR imagery right there, that color infrared. And I think the last minute is me probably just panning around and looking at stuff. So I don't know if we have time for that, but that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, and if you have questions, just come see us at the booth. We're right next door. Oh, we have a question. Yes.